Hi, if you're watching this video, you have completed your first 4 lessons in science and your next lesson is 1.05. I just wanted to take a few minutes to give you some pointers as you work through 1.05. This assignment is one of the choke points in this class because it's your very first lab activity. Lab activities are always embedded within your course and they are typically computer simulations. So I just want to show you how to identify a lab activity, how to complete a lab activity, and how to submit your lab activity for credit. So looking here at your science class, I'm on my landing page. I'm working in Module 1 and I'm on Lesson 1.05, Measuring Physical Properties. Again, top listing is the lesson. The bottom is where we go to submit our work. Anytime I see this icon, this tells me that I'm going to submit my work as an attachment. So let's open up Lesson 1.05. And let's pretend like we've completed our guided notes and we've worked through all 4 pages of the lesson. It's now time to complete the assignment. So as you remember from the orientation class, assignments are always posted on the last page of each lesson. In this instance, we're completing a science lab. You'll always be able to identify science labs in this course by this section on the last page of the lesson. They're always denoted by this picture and they say experiment like a scientist. So your science labs always consist of a lab report. Here's the link to the Measuring Physical Properties lab report, a grading rubric, which tells you specifically how your lab report will be graded, and the lab activity itself, or the computer simulation, which is listed down here. So one thing I ask all students to do, one, open up your grading rubric, take a look at this. Once you complete your lab activity, double check it to this grading rubric because this is how your work will be graded. And then your lab report is always the piece that you're going to turn in. So let's open that up. Measuring Physical Properties lab report. As you'll see, your lab report, consists of everything we saw in the grading rubric. It follows the scientific process. Name and title, it's always worth a point. Objective statement, hypothesis, the procedure. Your procedure is always going to ask you to define your dependent and independent variables. Your data, you'll get your data from the computer simulation or the actual lab activity, and then the conclusion. Okay, so to type within this lab report, we're going to open file, enable editing, and then I can save this to my computer, which will allow me to type within the document. Okay, so this is where your answers will go. Once you've typed in your answers, you've saved your work, this is the document that you'll submit for credit. Okay. To get those answers, you need to complete the actual lab activity. And I've accidentally closed out my lesson, so let's jump back in there. So for 1.05, to complete the lab activity, we're going to work our way through the Physical Properties lab. So we'll start with Welcome to Tiny World. And they'll give you some examples or some instructions. And to progress through the lab, it's important that you click on and complete all portions of it. Take your time to read everything. Your hypothesis is listed for you here. Obviously, you're going to take a little bit more time to really read and complete the hypothesis to the best of your ability. This information, remember, it often goes into your lab report, so you'll need to type this over into the lab report worksheet. And then you'll experiment. Give you the procedure, explain how to do it. This is it's all simulated. Okay, gives you the answer. You'll type here, and you'll click your data into the data box. This information here then goes into your lab report. Okay, so you'll work your way through, and oops. Once again, click, drag. Gives me the flexibility. This is highlighted up here, and I enter that into my chart. So you'll fill out this whole chart. This is one piece of your lab report. So you still have your name and title, your hypothesis, your objective, and the conclusion. This is just the one piece. So that once you complete that, you'll work through the entirety of the lab and then go ahead and submit your work for credit, and that's pretty much it. If you have questions, feel free to chat me, to call, or email.